omnipresent. That means it's everywhere. But we're talking about the glory. That is God's manifested presence. Where He can be seen, touched, experienced, encountered. And in that presence, you feel like an ant. We have lost our desperation for God. The word God can be talked about in conversation easily. Social media, here, God this, God that. Very, very easy. But it's not a name you can throw around like that. We've lost our reverence as a people. Amen? So we're going to get back to a place of being desperate for God, being desperate for His presence. What we're talking about. Revival doesn't come without His presence. That's why I need to usher in His presence. We need to seek His presence. Now, desperation has got a sound. You know it's going to sound? Desperation. So you ever stand there in your room and say, help! But I want to shout too loud, you know. But someone shouted louder than that for God to help. Was it only me? No. That's a part of you to hide away. If you've got that lovely makeup on, that's a part where the makeup gets smeared. It doesn't work that moment, the makeup. I'm talking about those moments. Now we need to get desperate for God. A seeking of His presence in a deeper way. There's always more and more with God. We want more. Do you want more?
Yes.
Say more.
More.
More of God's presence. More. We're after more. We're going to look at the scripture, Mark 10, from verse 46. There was a loud voice, a loud crying out to God. You know the story about not blind, it's Bartimaeus. He was a beggar, he's blind. Now here, this guy was desperate. If he wasn't desperate, he would have missed his miracle. Sometimes you want God to bless you, you seek God for miracles, but you're not desperate enough to get it. You're not desperate enough for God. There's a place of desperation in God where that's the way you're going to get to your miracle. They came to Jericho. As he was leaving Jericho, he was sat in a large crowd. Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting by the road. There was a large crowd, and he's passing by, and he's sitting there, blind Bartimaeus. He's a beggar. He can't work for himself, can't think of himself. The way he lives is by begging. Okay? The next verse. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out, Son of David, Jesus, have mercy on me. Now when he says he began to cry out, he was shouting. There's a crowd. He can't stand. He's blind. He just here, he's passing by. How is he going to get the attention of Jesus? Many people told him to keep quiet, but he was crying out all the more, have mercy on me, Son of David. Now comes the opposition. Shut up. Hold your mouth. What's wrong with you? Why do we do that? And somebody else is crying out to God. We don't encourage them. We belittle them. We allow the devil to use us. Now you are crying out. Now somebody else come up against you, then you stop. You don't want to offend people. You don't want to be different now than the rest. And then you stop. Why do you stop? Because you're not desperate enough. You see, each of us has got a limit. We're just so far, and then I'm looking around. Let's break that barrier today.
Yes, amen.
By declaring that we are desperate for God. We will not be stopped. What did he do? Just the opposite. He began to cry all the more. So that's how you get over yourself. Do it all the more. If somebody tells you stop doing that, and you know it's something you're doing for God, what do? You do it all the more. Say all the more.
All the more.
No. You go and do it all the more. Amen? You see, we are dealing with our own heart. Keep your heart right with God. Don't allow the enemy to come into your heart. How do you defeat the enemy? You do it all the more. All the more you will do it. You'll do the right thing. Not for that person's sake, but for your own sake and your relationship with God. You don't want unforgiveness to come in there, anger to come in there, resentment, fear. No. We just do it all the more the right thing. Say all the more.
All the more.
I'm giving you a valuable ammunition against the enemy. That is how we defeat the enemy.
Amen.
We do it all the more.
Amen.
Jesus stopped and said, call him. So they called by name and said to him, have courage, get up. He's calling you. They just told him, stop it, man, stop shouting. But when the Master comes, when God comes, when Jesus comes, he says, call him, bring him. The angels, they know now. God has spoken in your favor. The devil knows. Satan, the demons, they know God has spoken in your favor.
Amen.
Now there's nothing they can do anymore. The
Amen.
Master has spoken. God has spoken over your circumstances. God has come on the scene now for you. Then nothing can stop you now.
Amen.
So you're desperate till you get that where God speaks. You hear me, church?
Yes.
Don't rob yourself of this. Can you see where we've missed it?
Yes.
We stopped before the time. We didn't do it all the more. We went the other way and we missed our miracle. Are we going to start doing it?
Yes.
All the more you're going to push it. All the more. He got the attention of God, of Jesus. Call him. So they called him. Have courage, brother. Have courage. Get up. He's calling you. Now in those days, you got the blind beggar sitting there, and he will have a kind of a raggedy rag over him to show his poverty, to show his insufficiency. He will have this kind of a rag over him, begging there. Okay, he's sitting there. He's got his rag over him. Next verse. He threw off his coat, jumped up, and came to Jesus. You see how you come to God? When God speaks and he says, now go to do that. You throw off that sin. You throw off that baggage. You throw off that thing that was holding you back. You throw it off. Because he's going to change now his destiny. God, he knows. God's going to change my destiny now. What are you going to do when you come to the point where you know God's going to change your destiny now? He's going to shift you now to the new dimension. Your breakthrough is now here. What are you willing to throw off? You're still clinging on to things that you're supposed to throw off. Because you cannot go to your blessing with that rag still on you. You need to throw it off. Will you throw it off?
Yes.
It must be thrown off.
Yes.
This guy jumped up. He's jumping up. And he came to Jesus. Next verse. Then Jesus answered him, what do you want me to do for you? Now, Rabboni is a rabbi, means teacher. A rabbi teacher, the blind man told him, I want to see. Straight to the point. What do you want? The question that God is asking you, when you come to God, this is the question God asks all of us, what do you want? Let me talk about the rain. Let me talk about that person there. Let me talk about in that land. What do you want? You go all around in circles. Be specific. What do you want? And I'm telling you, if I'm going to ask you another question, give me 5 things that you want, you're going to struggle. Because you haven't taken time to think about what do you want. Write it down, because you have to go this week and really go think about what do you want, and write it down. Because you come to God in prayer, you're desperate for God, but you don't even know what you want. You must be clear understanding. We know exactly what we want from God.
Amen.
He knew exactly what he wanted. I want to see. That's what I want. If he gets his sight back, he gets his dignity back, and he's back into the mainstream. He can get his family back on track. He can get everything right. If he can see, he can go work, he can go do and live a full life. If he can see, what's holding you back? What do you want? Be specific. The next verse. Go your way. Jesus told him, your faith has healed you. Immediately you would see and begin to follow on the road. You have to take notice now. The whole thing that he did, that desperation, was his faith. The desperation is your faith in action. Now if somebody come up against your faith and you stop, you must not stop with your faith. You do it all the more, your faith. That whole exercise was his faith in action. It's an example of his faith. We are asking God for things that God already gave us. We're praying wrong. Now here's a point that I want to show you. We're asking God for things that's not going to come from God by his promises. It's going to come to you by your faith. Not by God's faith. He already released it to us. Now look here. Jesus saying to him, your faith has healed you. What did Jesus do? He just spoke the word. But it was the whole faith that produced the miracle was Bartimaeus' faith. Because he was desperate. It is a desperate faith. Do you have a desperate faith?
Yes.
Is your faith desperate?
Yes.
We have to come to a place where our faith becomes a desperate faith. Amen?
Amen.
Is your faith desperate?
Yes.
Amen. And in the world, the entire world in that moment, nobody, if you're blind, you're blind. Nobody saw after being blind. If you're blind, you're blind. It was impossible. Just imagine the time period. If you're blind, you're blind. It's your lot in life. You're blind. He was asking the impossible. He needed a miracle, not a healing, a miracle. But he was desperate. He went after the impossible. The things that looks impossible to you, which is impossible to you, by a desperate faith, you can have it.
Amen.
Become more desperate in your faith and you're going to get it.
Amen.
You will not be denied.
Amen.
And there is opposition. He had opposition. They said, quiet now. And he did all the more. That's your weapon. You all the more. You're going to do it. All the more you're going to release your faith. All the more. Amen? You're going to get it. Because God never denies us. He wants us to act out our faith so he can say, according to your faith, you have got it.
Amen.
You see, he just authorizes in the heavens and the earth. He just spoke the blessing over it. He just ordains it. But it's all you. Do you hear me?
Yes.
It's all you. And he just ordains it. Immediately. Oh, we want to get to the place of immediately. You don't want to wait another week,
Amen.
another day, another hour. We want it now.
Amen.
Would you want it now?
Yes.
Are you desperate enough to have it now?
Yes.
When the world says you can't have it, cry all the more.
Amen.
Shout all the more. My God says I can have it. My God says I can have it. My God says I can see. My God says I can have this thing. What is God saying to you? Because you already revealed in your heart what you're after. What do you want? Let's go to Genesis 32, verse 25. Genesis 32, from chapter 25. I went to a house and have a meeting there. But when I came to the house, it was packed. When I have a healing meeting, I set up with a lady who is a community worker in the area, so she knew the whole bunch. But I didn't know I'm going to get into that house, and it was so packed that there was, the kitchen was full, the lounge was full, the bedrooms was full, and now the veranda, the stoop area is full, and it's spilling out to the outside. It's so jam-packed. And the people are sick. I'm coming in there, and there's a lady in the wheelchair. There was about 3 wheelchairs that day there. 5 people on crutches. People with cancer, people with growths. It was like a, but they came to the right place.
Yeah.
Did you know everybody got healed that day?
Wow.
It was a miracle. Now, I want to talk about this lady with the wheelchair, the one lady. Who's talking about being desperate. Now, I prayed for her. She got up and she could walk now. And after the meeting, I saw her walking away, but she's pushing a wheelchair. She's behind a wheelchair, pushing a wheelchair. She's going home. And she was not in that same street. She was a couple of roads away. Walking. Now, I go every week, I go back. Then a few weeks later, I didn't know it was her house. Now I'm in her house. But now, she's no longer in the wheelchair. She's now with a walker. Okay? And she says, she requested this lady to bring me there because she wants me to pray for her again. Remember I prayed for her when she was in a wheelchair? Now she's with a walker. She says, Pastor, I like making food in my kitchen. But now with the walker, if I can't, I must keep the walker to be up. But if I leave the walker, then I can't do my things in the kitchen. So I need to be able to stand because I want to work in the kitchen and make food for my family. That was the request. Prayed for her. There goes the walker. Now she's upright. The first thing she does is say thank you to me, goes to the kitchen and start working, making her food. It's time for me to go. She got what she wanted. Okay? Now listen carefully. A couple of weeks later, then we had a meeting, organized a meeting there in the civic center or something, in a hall there. That more people could come. We had a healing meeting again. There she's again there. But now she's with a cane. She's off the wheelchair, she's off the walker, but she only got a cane now. I says, you again? She said, yes. And this time, I'm going to leave the cane and I'm going to be 100%. This time. I said, okay, I prayed for her again. There goes the cane. And from that moment, she was 100% perfectly whole. From her wheelchair, to a walker, to a cane. She came by herself to that meeting. She was desperate. And every time she got healed, it wasn't a full healing. She wanted the next one. And the next one. You know, after church we have the altar open. Sometimes we pray for you. Is that 100%? Come up again. Be desperate enough to come up again. Sometimes I'm praying for things for you and you know it's not fully there. Your faith is still developing, still growing, still getting there. Come up again. And I pray for you again. I'm coming in agreement with you. Amen? Be desperate enough. Stop looking around, looking, I'm coming up again. Come a million times, it's fine. The thing is, do you have a desperate faith? You see, you're going to get there by your desperate faith. If you not have the desperate faith, you're not going to get there. You're going to miss your miracle. Now here in Genesis, This is the very place where the nation of Israel was birthed. What a moment in the history of the world. But it came by one man being desperate. Here is Jacob, on his way back to his brother, sent his family and all his things ahead. In his tent came a man that night, but it was an angel. And he was wrestling with this angel. Wrestling. You see WWE? Now he was wrestling with the angel. That's where they get their name from, wrestling. He was wrestling. When the man saw that he could not defeat him, he struck Jacob's hip as they wrestled and dislocated his socket. This angel saw, I cannot defeat it. Jacob is desperate. He's fighting, like he's fighting for his life with the angel. Now he struck his hip and he broke his socket, out of socket now. So in other words, now he is lame on this one side. Next verse.
26.
Then he said to Jacob, let me go, for it is daybreak. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. There is the whole thing. You see, we must come to a place of desperation for that blessing that you're after. You want God to bless you, but you're letting go too quickly. You see, he was wrestling and says there, the whole night with this angel. Now it's daybreak. And the angel saying, this guy, I broke his socket already, but he's still he's keeping me. But Jacob said, I will not let you go. There was a reason why he was desperate. There was a reason he was fighting. When are you going to start fighting? Amen? Fighting. Not timid. He was fighting for that blessing. Are you going to fight for your blessing?
What is your name? Jacob.
What is your name? Bless me, God. Again, God, what is your name? My name is Samantha. Okay. Next verse. Your name will no longer be Samantha.
It will be Israel.
God changes his entire destiny and future. God shifts him. It's like taking a person, and that person that was there before that blessing came no longer exists. God's saying, you are now a new person. This is who you are. We need to let go of the old person.
Amen.
Because the blessing is for that new person. Do you hear me?
Yes.
What are you still doing with the old person? Let go of that old person. Because he can't receive that blessing.
True, eh?
The blessing is for the new person, the new you. As long as you keep on going to the old person, old habits, old things, you're missing your blessing. Why are you clinging to this old stuff? Let go of it. Because it's a blessing waiting for you. The old man is gone. The old me is gone. This is the new me. Amen? The new me that's in the blessing. Let go of the old things. It is only going to come. This is some amazing revelation. Those blessings, this is not normal blessings. This is things that's life-changing. It sets you on a new course, a new path. That's what I'm talking about. Would you like those kind of blessings?
Yes.
Then you have to be desperate for those ones.